Hey y'all, Grandma Rose here. Well, guess what? I have another project. Well, you might know, I'm always doing something different. But I've told you how I am constantly picking up feathers around my chicken coop. Well, it keeps it neat for one thing, and without feathers all over the place. But they're also gorgeous. And one thing is I'm saving feathers for tying flies, for fly fishing. But these wing feathers are feathers that I don't really use very much for that. They don't have the qualities that I need for the fly fishing. I keep some, but I really don't need very many, and I get a lot. So I was thinking, what can I do with those feathers? Well, the other day I was looking on the Michaels website at feathers. I know, it's silly because I have plenty of feathers already, but I was looking for something different. And not only that, I was trying to identify some that I already had, that I had bought at Michaels 10 years or so ago, and trying to figure out what they were because I hadn't labeled the bags they were in, which is pretty typical. But anyway, on one of the ads, or at least on the website, as an example of the use of the feathers, there was a picture of a wreath like this, made out of feathers that you could buy the feathers on the Michaels website and make this wreath. And I got to thinking, I already have a grapevine wreath. Let me turn this over. That's a grapevine wreath that I already had. I already have feathers. So why don't I make a feather wreath? And that's what I'm doing. Here we go. My feather wreath. And I have, every day I pick up more feathers. So I have this many more feathers to put in it. And I thought you might like to see me put the feathers in the wreath and see what it's going to look like. Let's add some feathers to this. I'm just putting them in as I find a place for it. And that one doesn't show, so I'm going to put it someplace else. Move it about a little bit until I can make it show. There we go. That shows pretty good. Now, over here on this side, I have a lot of these. Oops, I just pulled that one out. And I'm not going to glue these in, I don't think. I might. Maybe when I'm done, I'll use my glue gun and get these feathers in more securely. But for right now, I just have them stuck in between the grapevine. Now there's some of these not variegated, but barred feathers from my Dominique chickens here. I've got a couple of white feathers back here. I'll be able to use another couple of white feathers in here. So let me stick a white feather right in there. Find a good spot for it to stick and to stay, then it doesn't want to stay. You might know. Well, there we go. I got it to stay there. So I'm going to put that white feather there. And here is a nice long feather. It's curving the wrong way. So I'm just going to flip it over on that side and use it on this side. And now let's put this in, just put that in there. There we go. Put it in there like that. It's a pretty yellow fluffy feather. And I have a yellow feather here, and there's a yellow feather there, and a yellow feather here, but I don't have a yellow feather over here on this side. Well, there's one right there. So why don't I add it just right in there. I can get it to stay, and see, that's the thing, is getting it to stay in there without falling out. That looks nice. You know what? I'm not going to put it there. Looking from the top, this feather is already kind of yellowish. There's one here. I'm going to put it right in here, because I don't see one like that in here. Well, heck, it doesn't want to go. I'll work with it a little bit and get it to go in there. Now there, right in there, I can see there we go. That's pretty. That looks good. Now let's see what else. Just keep on working with it. It's a feather. Let's see what color this. See, this is sort of a yellowish feather right there. Where shall I put that one? How about right in here? That looks nice. How's it looking from that side? Put this down again. See how that's looking. What I'm looking for, I want it to be symmetrical. At least I want it to stay round. I'm not, if I add too many long feathers on one side, then it's going to be off kilter. And I want it to stay round. I think this is going to live on my front door just about all year. And each season, I will change out the decorations to make it seasonal. I have a friend here, one of my good friends, who has chickens, and she has a feather wreath. It's not a wreath. She actually has a swag around her door, and her husband is a hunter, so she has some deer antlers and other things in hers. Well, I don't have that. Mine's just going to have feathers, but it's going to be similar to what she has, except mine's going to be a wreath instead of a swag. So there we go. So there's all the white feathers that I have. Oh, there's one more. There's a couple that are fluffy that I'm going to put in the front, on the top of it, when I'm done. But I think after this it's going to be done. I have some small feathers, and here's one more white feather that I can add. And where am I going to put it? I think I'm going to put it right over here. Right in here. Keep turning it over to see how it looks from the front. I'll try to get this in between the turns on this grapevine, so it'll stay. I don't want it to fall out. So that's the trick then, is to get it to in a point that, there we go, that's going to stay right there. That'll be nice. But it's twisting the wrong way. Let me turn the feather over. Get it to go the other way. I think that'll work. That's going to work. That'll be nice. Put that down and move that around a little bit until I can see it. There we go. That's nice. Now, I have several of these brown feathers, or gray feathers. This one's a pretty one. Look at this. This pretty gray feather with the black rachis on it. That's lovely. I love this one. And here's one that's a rust color with a black tip on it. That's a pretty one. And here's another gray one. This is a darker gray. And there's another skinny gray one. I'll have to turn it over backwards to do that. So let me continue doing this, and I'll show you in a bit when I've done some more. Look at that one. Oh, aren't these pretty? I just love these. So I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, I have just a few feathers left, and I think I'm going to put them in a clump all in the same spot. So I'm gathering these together in a little clump and try to get them to go in. I think I want them, that feather right there is kind of in the way. It's a pretty one. I want it there. But I think it's in the way of where I want to put this clump. I want to put this clump, I think, right in here. I think it's going to go. Let me try and see if I can get these all to go in the same spot and not to fall out. Well, you know, I don't know. I'm going to have to work with this a little bit more. They didn't want to go there. They were just too loose. It wasn't working. And I can actually see the grapevine right in here. So I'm trying to put these feathers right in here to kind of cover up that grapevine. Maybe that's going to do it. I think that'll do it. So you know what? I think I'm done with this. What do you think? Do you think it looks pretty good? I'm pretty happy with it. I really think it looks great. So, you know, that might be a good Christmas gift for somebody. A grapevine wreath sure is not very expensive, and I have plenty of feathers that I can use to do this. So that might be a Christmas gift. We'll see. Bye, y'all. See you next time.